Hi
Hi guys.
guys. Hey folks, I'm Tina Hui, and we are here with Emily Vaughn from BitPay. Emily, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do at BitPay, and let's start there.
All right. Well, my name's Emily. I work at BitPay in our marketing department. I focus on events and sponsorships, and this year we've had a lot of really big events. Obviously, we've had the Bitcoin Bowl, which I was heavily involved in, and then Money 2020, which was a really big conference event for us. So I think the next one on our list is CES, which I'm heading out tomorrow to go experience. So
Have you ever been to CES?
I haven't actually. So this is a new experience for me. I mean, luckily at BitPay we have Stephanie, Wargo, and Tony Galippi. BitPay's been at CES I think for the past 3 years. I think this is our fourth year doing it, but it's our first time doing something to this magnitude. So it's going to be a new experience, but we're ready for it. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Well, I mean, yes, speak to us about the magnitude. What is the magnitude? What are you guys doing? I see you've got a bunch of different people in the booth, and just we've got to learn all about it.
Yeah, so the showcase opens on Tuesday, and what we have going on is the World of Bitcoin showcase at CES. There's a handful of Bitcoin companies that are there, but that aren't participating with us. But we are, we're representing 12 brands in the World of Bitcoin, which is a 2,000 square foot pavilion. So we are planning a lot of media events around it to get different members from the press to come over and experience sort of the full scope of interacting with Bitcoin. So visitors will be able to purchase Bitcoin. They will be able to learn about merchant adoption. We'll have exchanges there, ATMs, mining hardware. BitAngels will be there, sort of representing some of the investment perspective coming from the Bitcoin community, and we think that it's offering a really holistic view, of Bitcoin, and yeah, so we're hoping that the experience for the people that come by will be sort of an overview of the whole consumer-facing aspects of the industry. I mean, there's obviously a lot of different things that are still being developed in the space, which is very exciting. But for CES, with the magnitude of exhibit visitors, I think they're expecting 170,000 people this year. We feel like some of the best brands in the industry are being represented there. So for people that are getting their first foray into Bitcoin, they'll be able to experience sort of the whole 9 yards from getting started to then what to do next. So we have probably 80 people that will be staffing the event throughout the entire, from all the different companies. So there will be a lot of Bitcoin education going on, which will be very good too. So.
I mean, we'll definitely be swinging by and taking bystanders as well as people from the Bitcoin world to ask them what they've learned or what's going on. So that would be fun.
Yeah. It's especially with how the market's behaving right now. I expect it to be a really interesting discussion with all the people that are experiencing Bitcoin for the first time.
I mean, the price is down in 270 at the moment, which is kind of tricky. I mean, that's what people always speculate on is price, and you're like, well, that's not what matters.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's my outlook. Of course, there are a lot of people that love to focus on the price, and our team at BitPay has a tried and true sort of exhibit procedure that we go through where we're talking to people about the volatility, and from a merchant adoption perspective, we have obviously safeguards in place to keep merchants from having to deal with the volatility, but the world of Bitcoin at CES, we're going to have a lot of people that are wanting to get into Bitcoin for the first time, and they're going to want to have those questions answered. So hopefully some of the other Bitcoin companies we have there that are geared towards media and education will be able to jump in and sort of control that dialogue. So
Definitely. I'm curious, have you practiced explaining to people what Bitcoin is? Because you know you're going to be hearing that question over and over again.
yeah, I get that a lot. I mean, I've been to so many conferences this year that I mean, payments conferences, finance conferences, tech conferences. So not just Bitcoin conferences. So I've probably had to answer that question hundreds of times, but I always gauge sort of the level of interest of the person I'm talking to before I dive into it, because some people really need to start from the beginning, not really, understanding really how our financial system works and why Bitcoin is relevant, and that is like, that's a whole can of worms that you have to be very
Talking
careful
about the
about.
history of money.
Yeah, I mean, whoa. And I've had people that I start, like, well, Bitcoin is, and they're like, whoa, let's back it up and let's dive into history, and it's just, I'd rather not. But
You guys should have panels that say, this is what Bitcoin is.
yeah, we're hoping that some of our other partners that start, with the consumers from that perspective would be able to lead the discussion there, and that when businesses are ready to talk about how does Bitcoin affect commercial activity, that's sort of where we can enter that conversation. So we're really excited about the displays. I mean, the booth itself is super cool. All the walls are branded really, really well with the Bitcoin companies that will be there. It's very flashy looking. So, I think it'll be very exciting for people that know how much of a hot topic Bitcoin is. And
You were
great.
saying you hope that our partners could, that you hope that the partners there will be able to explain what Bitcoin is.
So a lot of the time when BitPay is the only Bitcoin company at an event like this, we field a lot of education questions. This time we're going to be there with several wallet companies, exchange companies, why Bitcoin will be there, and they have their education sort of foundation of their publication where they can take over that dialogue. So we think that with the force of all the people that will be there, we'll be able to answer questions and really provide an exciting, learning experience. And hopefully people aren't just there to learn, but like they're ready to get started, and we can get some conversion going, because, the more people using Bitcoin, the happier I am. So.
No, I feel you 100% on getting people into Bitcoin. I mean, Follow the Coin, I think we're a publication for people to learn about it in not such a heavy jargon way. A lot of the publications can be pretty heavy technical. So it's kind of exciting to be able to be there. And, coming from a tech background, it's really fun. I'm going to bring a bunch of tech folks into the booth as well and be like, what do you guys think? So.
Absolutely. We really are looking we're really looking for the world of Bitcoin to be the center of Bitcoin activity at CES. That's why we, invested in this giant space and brought in all these companies. It's obviously not just to showcase Bitcoin, but to showcase, BitPay, but to showcase Bitcoin and sort of show off all the variety of products out there, and how you can have, competing companies in the same space, because the types of people that use their products may have different interests and different services. I think a lot of people that don't know much about Bitcoin, expect that the community hasn't gotten that figured out, but we do. So.
Well, I think I really like BitPay's strategy. You guys have definitely become more collaborative, and Bitcoin Bowl was a huge success. You have to tell us, how was that received by folks in the audience and who weren't into Bitcoin at all?
Well, it's always a mixed bag. I feel like all of the brands that were, all of the sponsors for the Bitcoin Bowl, I feel like were very well represented. I had the pleasure of working at the sort of BitPay booth during the fan zone before the game, where we had a lot of newcomers coming in buying their first Bitcoin from TrueCoin's ATM machines. And then they had the opportunity to buy merchandise right there, so they could go through the process. And I think because it's Bitcoin and football, you had a lot of football fans that were just like, I'll try it out, just because they're feeling confident and excited. And obviously there's skepticism. That's just something that the whole industry is facing as we become more and more integrated into the mainstream. So skepticism is pretty normal, but I feel like over the past 6 months, my interactions with people that are being introduced to Bitcoin for the first time have become a lot less negative skepticism and a lot more like positive curiosity. And if you can get someone to that level, I mean, it's very easy to show them how Bitcoin works. And I think the challenge that we all have to face is making Bitcoin more relevant to just a normal consumer. So that's an industry-wide goal, I think.
Right.
More merchants accepting Bitcoin, making the Bitcoin wallets easier to use, and there's so many companies that are taking that in the right direction. And like Circle, who's really increased their consumer adoption by adding their wallets to iPhone and Android. I mean, I'm really excited to see how they do at CES. So they're a big sponsor of our space there. So.
I think CES is going to be really interesting because you've got people in tech who actually have dabbled or at least taken a pretty good look at Bitcoin. So they're already kind of taking a speculative, very far look at it and then going, I'm curious. So I'm curious, actually, where is the booth? And do you know who's going to be around it? Like, what kinds of booths?
Yeah, so we're in the Las Vegas Convention Center South Hall. Our booth number is 36223. It's on the exhibitor directory. I think it's just called Bitcoin. So I've asked them to change it, but it's all this last minute stuff. But so we're just general Bitcoin, and then around us, I know that there's some ASICs producers in the space. Not a lot of payments or competing services there, but a lot of international hardware gadget companies. So
they're putting us right in with the ASICs and microchips and semiconductors, eh?
Yeah, I'm curious because I'm wondering if we have a miner that's going to be there with us, BitMain, and I'm wondering if their ASICs producer will be at CES or not.
It's always interesting. So I mean, we'll figure it out. It used to be called Comdex, I think, or at least Comdex merged into CES. So it'll be fascinating to see how everything pans out. But are you excited? I think it's great, for instance, that BitPay is constantly calling these events Bitcoin something, like Bitcoin World, and you guys have Bitcoin Bowl, and you're not calling it BitPay Bowl or anything like that. So I think you guys are really helping out the industry.
Yeah, well, I think that there's obviously a reason that BitPay puts ourselves in that position, and part of that is sending the message that we are a Bitcoin company that wants to work with other Bitcoin companies. If somebody else has a product that's working really great, and they have a base of users that are really excited to use that product. We would like to integrate with them. We like to work with them so that merchants that are coming to the Bitcoin world through accepting Bitcoin are introduced to the Bitcoin community by having all of the networks connected. That's just sort of our approach. I think that we would rather have a really strong network of integrations with other Bitcoin companies and working with them and supporting their brands, because the community is stronger when we work together like that. And that's BitPay's underlying goal there. I mean, I'm sure that we'll be doing CES like this again next year. So we're hoping that the sponsors that are there this year have a really good experience and want to come back and do it bigger and better. This is our first year with this kind of setup, so I'm sure it'll be a learning experience. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm ready. I'm pumped. So.
Yeah, I know you're flying in. I can't wait to see you. We always have a good time together, whether it's 2020 or
yes, yeah, Vegas. So.
Yeah. Well, being one of the few females in tech, or Bitcoin rather, it's really nice to be able to see all of your hard work come out and be visible for everybody to experience. And you've been doing good work, Emily.
Well, thank you. I mean, I have a really good team, and BitPay really sets me up with all the resources I need to pull off something like this. I mean, it's really important to the whole company that where we need to be present, we're not just present, but we're the star of the show. So
collaborative, but the star of the show. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
That's called marketing. Smart. Well, I'm glad you're coming in. I guess, are there any other technologies that you're keen to check out yourself, or you and the team excited about?
Um, yeah, I mean, I am expecting to hear a lot of really exciting announcements next week. I know that many of the companies that we're working with are working on doing their own promotions. So I've had so much time to just focus on this event. That's really what I'm excited to follow, engage the press's reception to what we're doing, and then if I have time to actually leave the booth and go check everything out, I'd like to see some of the developments in gaming. Really, that's been a very strong area of focus for BitPay and obviously for BitPay's marketing department recently. So I'm curious to see what direction a lot of these gaming giants are taking.
Oh,
So
that's interesting to hear, especially since you guys just signed on Microsoft with Xbox and everything. We're
yes,
actually going to be doing a Twitch night soon, probably at the end of January or February. So, yeah, so hopefully you'll join us for game night, or Twitch night is what we're calling it.
yeah. Well, I should be in town. I think I'll be in San Francisco the 21st through the 31st of January. So
Good.
I'm hoping to hit up a lot of events while I'm down there, and obviously meet with you if you have time.
Now that you say that, I'm going to have to think about, what about another fireside chat? Because the last time we had Stephanie and Melissa from BitPay, and you guys chimed in with some really great insights. So we'll have to talk about that, Emily.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm there to do. So, I've got a couple people I'm planning to meet with, but I'm excited about spending some time in San Francisco, especially at the end of January, because I know there's a lot of development for 2015 going on right now. So I'm curious to get in on that and see what everybody's up to.
It's going to be interesting to see how everything with the Bit license also pans out, too, since I think
Yeah.
it's supposed to come out in January or end of January, but he keeps pushing it back.
Yeah. I suppose I haven't followed it recently, but I did hear that it was supposed to be a January release date. So
Well, January is going to be jam-packed. You're going to be at Miami, too?
yes, so I'm going from CES to NRF, which is the National Retail Federation show in New York City, and then I have a couple days in Atlanta, and then I will be at Miami conference, and then in San Francisco. So.
So, Emily, who's going to be at CES, as far as you know from Bitcoin?
So we are going to have Kraken, London Trust Media with private internet access will be there. We have Circle. They have a really cool setup for signing on new accounts. Blockchain will also be there. Bitstamp, BitPay, of course, and we will also be sort of demoing CoPay, our multi-sig wallet, which has been in beta for a while. RoboCoin will be there with one of their ATMs. We also have Bitmain and their Antminer line. They just released a brand new machine, the S5, which is pretty exciting. And then Why Bitcoin will be there, and so will BitAngels. So we have quite a few people on the list, and hopefully our CES attendees can sort of circle through the whole setup. So those are all the brands that we have there so far, but we're hoping that more announcements will come out and more partners will show up. But for now, I imagine that's going to be our set list. So the experience for attendees would be to mill through the space and start with a wallet, buy some Bitcoin, learn about mining, learn about trading on exchanges. I mean, it's exciting. I haven't ever seen these brands all working together in one space, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I think it's going to be great. Fantastic to see everybody collaborate, and I know you're probably going to put on a stellar event, so
I hope
can't
so.
wait to be there. And then I'm going to be attacking people on the floor of CES and randomly stuffing a mic in front of them and going, "So, have you heard of Bitcoin? What do you think?"
Yeah, definitely. Send them our way if they haven't.
I will.
Everybody.
I'll maybe just write it every morning, like the booth number on my arm.
Yeah.
Go to this booth number. Great. Well, I can't wait to see you, and please do fly safely. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm heading out in 12 hours, so I'll be there.
Well, I'm already here, and it's freezing, so don't forget to pack a coat.
Oh, thanks for the heads up. I haven't even packed yet. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
you
warm,
need
right?
2 or 3 layers. It's like 48 or 38 degrees at night.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know. I'm going straight from Las Vegas to New York, so I guess I don't have to pack for two different climates then.
Is it snowing in New York yet?
I don't know. I kind of hope not. I'm not equipped to handle snow. It's
You just need rain boots. You'll be fine.
yeah.
All right, well, thanks so much, Emily.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
It's going to be fun to chat with you some more as the year progresses. I'm sure we'll be doing these more often. So,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone, and then bye, guys.
Bye, guys.